Yo, this is Fred Hamilton. I would like y'all to join me in a series of conversations with the men in my family as we discuss our journey through the obstacles of being black in America on our way to attempt to achieve this American dream. So dig it. What's the obstacles of being black in America? Well, the obstacles of being black is a series of things. It's some systems put in place to destroy us and our families. So check it out. I'm gonna go down this list slow so y'all can go back and look all these things up when you got some time. So it began with slavery. Then they hit us with peonage, the 13th Amendment, lynching, sharecropping, convict leasing, the GI Bill that we were denied, redlining, Jim Crow, segregation, welfare denial, war on drugs, the three strikes rule, racial profiling, driving while black, walking to the store while black, jogging while black, the school to prison pipeline. Then you got these crooked politicians and lawmakers. And on top of all that, we got black on black crime where the brothers is killing each other. And let's not forget the cream of the crop, racism. Now, if your family was able to dodge all these landmines, then maybe you was able to get a taste of this American dream. But we're going to talk about it. What we call this is raw conversations.
Another Hamilton Bros media chat tonight. We got my nephew, Deaundre. What's up, nephew?
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, good. I'm going to try to stay calm on this one, y'all. This is going to be a tough one. And I'm going to try to keep it to where I don't get too upset during it because you're not going to understand what we're talking about if we're yelling and screaming, so I'm going to keep calm. So on June the 20th, 2014, this white guy by the name of Daniel Andrews pulled a loaded shotgun on my nephew because he was standing out getting into his apartment complex and he didn't have his key. Okay, the dude was drunk. He had alcohol on him. And tell you what, let's go into the clip.
Here, about to bring some fucking rain on your ass, dude.
What are you doing?
I told you from up there, get the fuck out of here or get somebody to come let you in. You got neither one.
I'm waiting.
Waiting for what?
For my dad to get here?
Where's your dad?
He's at work. He's on his way home. And I was waiting on my uncle to let
Where's
him
he
in.
live? What apartment number?
224.
Alright, you know how much bullshit goes on in this place?
I know that.
You know what looks like you're doing right now?
What? I'm standing here
for a
waiting.
drug deal or
No, not really.
hooker or
Not really.
I'm gonna bring some little fucking kids up here.
Y'all see this, right?
Y'all keep moving.
Damn.
Keep moving. Keep moving, son. I ain't gonna shoot you. You ain't doing nothing wrong.
You see that, right?
I'm
Didn't you
declining.
let me in the house one day? You let me in the house one day, right? There go your evidence right there.
There you go. Right there. Go ahead. Get in.
I'm waiting on my uncle, like I just told you.
Why won't you go in with them?
Because I'm waiting for my uncle.
Why? Because he won't let you in the house?
Because he stays with us.
Well, somebody needs to let you in the house, man. Because y'all fucking standing around here, people standing around here, ain't fucking cool.
All right.
It ain't fucking cool.
Yeah.
Y'all saw that, right? So, Deaundre, I'm going to let you start off tonight and just kind of tell your story from the time you left work that night.
Time I left work, man. First I'll just say, employee dropped me off at home, same regular type of schedule, I'm in my work uniform, straight blue, McDonald's, clear as day. And I'm just happy to be home. The minute I get home, I get out the truck, I say bye to my employee or whatever. And that's when I received a phone call from my girlfriend. So at the time I was talking to my girlfriend, going through it, just having a nice conversation. And there's a little waiting area that we're just, you know, full of light, died, shine right on me. I'm the only black person there, and, you know, dressed in all blue. Man, should I continue going? Or?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell them about when the guy approached you and the whole little shebang.
All right. So there's a little waiting area. You were just sitting there having a conversation, you know, checking up on them. As I'm waiting, I get this pressure or this sense like something is looking at me, like staring at me, and this, that, and the other. And I just glance, you know, I always check my surroundings. So I just glanced around and I see this man staring at me. You know, at first I didn't pay no mind to it. Like, I'm not here doing nothing wrong. I just got off work. I'm just trying to get in the house, go to sleep. So as I'm still integrated into this conversation, I look up again, and this dude is on, we had a little passageway connecting the apartments. He was on a little bridge area. He's watching me from there now. So we went from watching me in your house, now you watching me outside the house. So I you know, at first I'm like, okay, it's getting kind of concerning now. The dude kept looking at me. Time fast forward. Right when I think right when I got a call from my uncle, he was checking up on to see where I was at. I get just a buzzing noise in the back of my head, or, you know, basically in the back of my head, just initiating like, why, what are you doing here? Or what's your purpose being here? So at this point, Andrew's behind me. So I'm looking, I'm like, okay, so you went from house to balcony, and now you down on my end behind the gate, questioning me about why I'm out here. At this time,
that's when you saw the shotgun.
That's when I saw the shotgun, but I couldn't see that first because he was so far in the dark. Like, you gotta think, in this video, there's only a certain section of the area that has full light. That's why the video was caught in such bad resolution, because I was in a certain area where it was only light there. As he started approaching more to the gate, and you can even see, he said, you see this right here? I'm about to let some rain out on you. So right when I saw that, and before the clip, that's when he started aiming the shotgun at me and just trying to basically stand his ground, which he had no purpose doing.
And you had enough sense to pull out your phone, record this fool, stay calm, and that's how you got out of that situation, because that could have went really bad.
Could have went left in any type of way. Yeah. I instantly hung up the phone before he even came. Hey, I got to get off the phone.
Yeah.
And I went right to recording. Like, if you look at the video and the quality, I'm like this the whole time while that whole thing is running, you know, while the whole thing is going down. So I'm like, if I die, it's all gonna be on tape. Somebody gonna find this phone and just know they got all the truth and evidence they need. So I was ready.
And see, the things that we want to talk about tonight is the police being consistently inconsistent. What I mean by that is, if I was in that situation as a black man and I was drunk and I had a shotgun out, when the police would have arrived to that scene, either I would have got shot, I would have got tased, or either 4 or 5 police would have jumped on me, right? Anyone in America know a black man standing with a shotgun talking to a child, a teenager, when they show up, they're gonna have some bad energy for me. And what we're saying is, if the police would show up with the same energy when they come to a scene, no matter what, they always want to talk about race, they all want to talk about economics, they want to talk about mental state, but what they need to do is look themselves in the mirror and say, when we come to a scene, have the same energy that you would have, whether the person is black, Mexican, white, Hispanic, Jewish, whatever the case may be. Come with that same energy. Jump on him, put him in a chokehold, do all these type things. None of these things happen. None of these things happen at all. And they gave this man a slap on the wrist because the police and the justice system in America is inconsistent. If y'all had some consistency with how y'all come to a scene and how y'all deal with people, you know, an unarmed black man will get choked, jumped on, beat up, and everything else in that same situation. So we're going to take a break right quick. Now we're going to show y'all the news clips of what actually happened to him during this situation.
You may recall a story we did only on Fox last week. A Southwest Houston teenager's life was threatened by a neighbor, and the teenager captured it all on a cell phone. Well, today that neighbor appeared in court, and the victim's family was there too. Fox 26's Ashley Johnson was at the courthouse.
Man pulled a shotgun out on my 17-year-old nephew, and they gave him, you might as well say, a free ticket out.
For Fred Hamilton and his brother Andre, they say sorry just isn't enough. This morning, Daniel Edward Andrews, who threatened their nephew and son, apologized in court.
It's right here. Let the rain on your dude.
It was this video taken on a cell phone by 17-year-old Deaundre Hamilton that landed his neighbor Andrews in jail. Last Thursday, the teen was getting off from work when Andrews started cursing at him and threatened his life with a shotgun.
He's just scared. I mean, he's a kid. He never been in a fight. So, you know, somebody putting a gun at him is just ridiculous.
Today, Deaundre, who's on his way to Prairie View A&M University, wasn't in court, but his father and uncle came to fight for justice. Andrews pled guilty to disorderly conduct, a charge the Hamiltons say is a mere slap on the wrist and doesn't live up to the threat.
If it would have been upgraded from disorderly conduct and it was some type of felony, you know, maybe the family would have looked at it a little bit better in that light.
The district attorney says he fought for the max sentence of 180 days in jail and believes Andrews' apology was a big factor and why the judge only ruled he get 60 days.
He didn't try to put any blame on anyone else. He sort of, essentially, as he said, threw himself on the mercy of the court, and I think the judge found that to be a heartfelt confession and apology.
Andrews' defense attorney says he wanted a deferred probation and that his client is extremely sorry for what he's done.
He wanted to let the court know that he knew he did something wrong. He's not proud of it, and he realizes that the consequences could have been terribly wrong. He also realizes how this looks. It just doesn't look good.
Ashley Johnson, Fox 26 News.
Okay, so y'all saw that, right? So this man, after he did this, went to the judge and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I did. They gave him a slap on the wrist. He may have done 30 days in jail. So again, the inconsistency. As a black man, if I was standing there and I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to jail, and I'm going to jail for a good amount of time. You know, treat every situation the same as a police officer. Treat every situation that you come to the same, and you may get some trust in the minority community. You're always wondering why there's no trust between minorities and the police. There's no trust between minorities and the justice system because it's always consistently inconsistent. The Dylan Roofs of the world can go in and shoot people and they ask him if he's hungry. Where when we in that same situation, we definitely getting beat on, jumped on, and all that other stuff. So what I want you to do now, Dre, is talk to the people about after this incident, after you didn't get any justice on this, after all minorities in America have to deal with these type situations, you went to college, right?
Yep.
Tell them about your time at Prairie View. What happened after this incident? There we go. Yes, sir. Yeah, show them what it is, right? Yeah, show them what it is. Yeah, you the black man that, yeah, you got the shotgun pulled on you because you a vagrant or somebody out there trying to steal something when you're trying to work at McDonald's and go to Prairie View. Exactly.
Clear as day.
So you graduated from college after this obstacle that I talk about at the beginning of these videos, and
Yep.
you're doing what now?
Oh, you want me to get into college journey or?
Go ahead and talk about college if you want to, and go ahead and tell them about your new job, your new project, and what's going on with you.
So, I mean, the road even getting to college and after the aftermath and everything that happened, just as a black male trying to transition into that life after so much stuff happened to you that's just unexplainable, it's traumatizing to the mental. So I dealt with a lot of mental issues and still do to this day because who can sleep after that, you know? even though it didn't happen the way it happened, there's a lot of stuff that goes on to someone's mind after something like that happens, because it's a traumatic event. So I dealt with a lot of that. I couldn't go to therapy. I was antisocial because I couldn't trust people. So you talking about a man that did all this hard work in high school, that went to college, and then now I'm trying to get this super experience of the HBCU. I really couldn't get all that until my senior year. So I spent 2 years trying to figure out why this stuff happened, trying to adapt and trying to get past it, and I just couldn't. Like a lot of Black males deal with this stuff because they don't go handle the issues or go talk about it or anything. It's hard. Plus, I was a teenager at the time.
Dig it.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So went through college. I pushed myself every year. My mom knows. She dealt with a lot of conversation. We've been back and forth. My dad knows. Everyone in this family knows how hard and how much it took for me to get to this point in my career. So now we're moving out of college, and I get hired on to Holder Construction as a field coordinator. I'm in the role of going into a superintendent role, but I started as a field coordinator in Salt Lake City, Utah, and about 2 years ago. Came here. There's a Salt Lake City expansion that's happening for the Delta Airlines that I've been help coordinating. I built the exteriors with masonry. You can name whatever trade is possible. I moved inside interiors, which we're now preparing for the early gate turnover, which is a huge milestone for the HD team. Come this Tuesday, where we open up the Delta games to the public. It's the first 5 gates. I've been shining. I've been knocking things out. I've done a documentary with Salt Lake City on I think we made 11 million man hours within the project. I was all over that. To this day, you can go in the airport and see me on a loop back and forth about my accomplishments, how we're growing, how my team is growing. I'm well over it. And now I'm about to be well over it during the early gate turnover, because I was a part of that as well. But my involvement from getting straight out of college to getting into this line of work has been tremendous. I've made so much effort and so much great activities, and I've been growing nonstop, and it's all in God's power,
And as a family, man, we so proud of you. You have no idea, Dre. We are so proud of you, the way you dealt with that incident, the way you stayed calm, and that's probably why you still here today. The slightest little bit of arguing with this man or anything like that could have easily went another way. And we want to tell y'all, man, this is not a black and white thing. I have so many white friends that I grew up with. I have a lot of white friends that I work with, co-workers. And as far as the police are concerned, I've had a very good friend of mine that was a police officer, a guy by the name of Damian Buckner. He died in a motorcycle accident. I got a brother in Kansas City, dude named BJ. He's a cool dude. So we're not grouping people together. What we're saying is all police need to come to the scenes and have the same energy they have no matter who is involved. If it's a white guy with a shotgun, jump on him and beat him. If it's a black guy with a shotgun, jump on him and beat him. I thank the authorities when I see somebody pulled over on the other side of the freeway getting a sobriety test, and me and my daughter's in the car. I'm glad that the police are pulling somebody over. Okay, so it's not a thing about the police. It's just about being consistent. You guys are consistently inconsistent when it comes to black people, when it comes to minorities in general. Come to those scenes with the same energy, and y'all will get the trust from the black community that everybody's always talking about. How are the police and the justice system going to build trust between minorities and them? Be consistent. Be consistent at all times. That is our main message from this whole video. This is another Hamilton. You've seen we talked to granddads, we've talked to my uncles. Now we're talking to my nephew, okay, who also had to deal with an obstacle in this world just trying to make it. So how are things there now, Dre? Are you working on a new project, or you getting ready to open that expansion you just did, right?
Yep, this Tuesday, May 16th. Opening new gates. I just got a call, or not got a call. I got an insider that in the next 2 months they'll be transferring me to another major project. So my time in Salt Lake City is shortly coming to an end, but I've grown. My resume speaks volume. We reached so many milestones as far as a team, and now I'm about to take all my knowledge and everything elsewhere and help that team grow. So
man, you keep doing what you're doing, Dre. Man, it's unbelievable how much you've come through and having to deal with that crap and where you are today. Is there something else you want to say to these people before we get out of here, man? I just wanted you to get your voice and tell this story and let people see that minorities are not always just complaining. There are some real things that happen that shouldn't, and nothing is changing. If you guys want these things to change, stop sending these same identical representatives in senators, and you see the same names every 4 or 5 years. Go to the Democratic Party. Say, hey, we got somebody we want you guys to nominate. Go to the Republican Party. Say, this is who we want to see in place. Stop sending the same names over and over, making the same decisions. You're not going to get anything on gun laws. Nothing is going to change until we get out here and make some changes, man. Is there anything you want to say, Dre, before we get out of here?
Yep, just 2 things I wanted to touch bases on. I know during that era where the gun was being pointed out with me, I know Randall management had a big deal with racial profiling as well.
Now, tell the people who Randall management is.
They are a private company that managed the condos that were in. They were all privately owned. So they're the company that was over that. They used to bash me and my dad for forever. The whole time we lived there, I want to say, they always bashed me and my dad. And they always thought I was the little gangbanger or the little guy that was going, breaking into cars, this, that, and other. I had a full-time job. I had a full-time in school. I was in sports. I was in golf. Like, you can name it. I was either at school or I was at home or at work. That's literally how that was. They went full to you can't name how bad they went with just trying to make up stories. They got pictures of me going inside of a gate, trying to make it seem like I was the one robbing everybody and pointing the finger at me. When I needed keys to be able to get into the place, it took them 3 years for me to even get a set of keys when I stayed with my father. Like, we having issues about me getting into the apartment, and I'm dealing with this situation where I don't have a key, and my dad's he's trying to get keys, and these people won't give me keys because they racial profile me for doing something I'm never even done, you know? So that's a big thing too I wanted to bring up. And also I wanted to bring up being able to speak out and mental health. Being able to speak out is a strong thing, especially in this generation. A lot of people feel like whatever happened to them, they can't talk about it, they can't speak on it, or they feel like they're just going to be judged as any other person. Doesn't matter what happened. As long as you got all the clear facts, the evidence, you can bring anything forth to the table and get some type of resolution of whatever happened. This is what this happened in 2014. And this year, 2023, that we're still on this type of topic. And it's happening to so many more people, not just me. And these are Black men that's actually trying to do something. So if you are that Black man, if you are that Black female, if you're any racial race that is going through something, you need to speak on it. Also, mental health is important. You need to talk to people, whether you feel like you can't, whether you feel like you don't want to do it, whatever in that element that you need to do, you need to talk to somebody. I've been on this project site where we lost people because of that. I took a 4-week leave because I couldn't do it no more. It's the stuff that happened to me back in the past, that something in the work field can trigger that. I got triggered at one point and I just couldn't do it. Instead of blowing up and causing a catastrophe that I might lose my job or anything, I just like, hey, I need to go. And it probably might take that. At least you say something, you know? So being a man and being a strong, independent individual, speaking up on mental health is important, especially in the workforce that I am in. And I strongly encourage people to speak up on that. It's very important. Other than that, I'll lay my ground for you.
Hey, look, that's the best vindication you can ever have, Dre, is to be successful. To show them that all of that profile and everything they did, they had the wrong person. And the way you doing it and the way you did it, man, we are very proud of you. You know you can always talk to your uncles, always, about anything, and get that kind of stuff off of your chest. And I hope that when people see this, they can see this is just a typical family. And between all of these videos, y'all can see the things that we have to go through just to be standing now, just to try to make it. You have to deal with all of these obstacles. I mean, from the time, so I have a few names. From the time that Dre went through that to now, look at the number of Black people who have been killed without a weapon, okay? Without a gun, didn't have anything in their hands and they got choked or killed or something like that. Breonna Taylor, Eric Garner, Freddie Gray, Walter Scott, Michael Brown, Anthony Hill, Philando Castile, Dante Wright, Michael Craig, Roderick Brooks, Eric Allen, Alton Sterling, Carl Dorsey, Trayvon Martin, William Chapman, Eric Harris, Jonathan Sanders, Jermaine Jones, Patrick Warren, Robert Langley, James Laurie, Jordan Baker, George Floyd. I can go on and on. There's a lot of names that I didn't even bring up. And my nephew could have been on the end of that list that night. This man got slapped on the wrist and said, it's okay. He went to the judge and said, I'm sorry. And the judge said, okay, I can understand that. So before we get out of here, all we want to say to people is be consistent. If I come in there and say, I'm sorry, give me some leniency. Okay? This is something that is really running me hot, and we got to get real in America and say right is right. Okay? So you guys, to the authorities, to the justice system, you need to stop consistently being inconsistent. That's all I got to say on this one, y'all. Hamilton Brothers Media, we out.
Anniversary of the opening of the new Salt Lake City International Airport. It marks a point of 12 million man-hours put into this project.
So today we're celebrating the 12 million man-hours, bringing all the trades on site, bringing the airport out, giving us some food, just showing our appreciation for all the work that they put in, for what we've achieved, and what we're still achieving, and what we're going to be achieving in the future.
It's just the appreciation for the trades. Like, they put in all this hard work. We might drive them, but they put it in. They wake up every day, they put in the hard work, just the intensity for these guys, and we just appreciate them to keep going.
All of you, all of the subs, our great general contractors deserve an enormous amount of credit for making this project what it is today.
Thank you, and this is a huge milestone of 12 million hours that y'all have put in, and I appreciate it, and I'm truly thankful for y'all.
When I go home or I visit friends and I bring them out here, I'm like, look, man, look what we accomplished. Look what I built.
You get to go through the facilities and like see the stuff that you've worked on in past projects. It's awesome. I've put in my own long hours here, and it just goes to show like how many people are willing to like make those sacrifices and put in those hours to accomplish something like what we've accomplished out here.